99% of people get stuck in the cycle of making money, paying bills, and repeating this cycle. And it appears normal because this is what we have been taught from school, that finish school, look for work, get paid, and pay bills. But the 1% that is wealthy and rich, they have mastered this cycle and they have broken away from it. They know that you cannot become successful by depending on one source of income. And they know that your first job or your salary is a seed for you to build wealth and to build money, to build businesses. So what the 1% does is they use their one income, that is the salary they get, to build their wealth. In this video, I'm going to discuss 7 ways in which the rich continue getting the rich through using their first seed, which was their salary or their first income they created, or from their first hustle that they started, so that they were able to build an empire. You have probably heard this quote that you are an average of the 5 people that you hang around with, and we hear this a lot of time, but I will break it down in this point so that you can understand what exactly it means that you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around with, or the 5 people that you hang around with can be a reflection of who you are. To take this step further of understanding how you are a reflection of 5 people you hang around with is take a book, draw a tree, and have 5 circles on it. And in each circle, write a person that you are close with, 5 people, and in each circle, write down how they influence your life. And it is good to use one word, whether it's kindness, it's innovation, entrepreneurship, it's laziness, it's watching movie, relaxing, anything that they influence you in your life. And this is an activity that you need to be very honest with yourself. It is a way of doing self-reflection and understanding yourself better. It is not an easy task. It will make you vulnerable. But the good thing is, once you come up with those 25 words, that is 5 words under each person, you'll be able to understand yourself better and analyze those words. If it is something that you do not want to cultivate in your life, then it's high time then you took away that person, or so that you can draw what you want from a person that has the skill set or the mindset that you want to achieve. The second reason as to why the rich continue getting rich is because they earn first and spend later. The difference between the 99% and the 1% in the world is that the 99% use their income or their salary to fund their lifestyle, while the 1% understand that the first income that you get is a seed to grow your riches or your wealth. And once they have grown their wealth, is now the wealth that fund their lifestyle. And the best way to analyze or to adapt to this system of the 1% is to always put aside money that you can use it as an emergency fund, or to use it to start another side hustle. The rich also understand about the depreciating assets and liabilities, and their main focus is to invest in assets actually, because assets such as real estate, land, building, businesses, those are things that bring money in your pocket, and they minimize on the liabilities, so that anything that is taken away from their pocket is at a minimum level, so that they can continue growing their wealth. Whereas the 99%, they increase their expenses at the expense of their one source of income, and they remain with nothing to invest in their future. While we say cars and car loans are liabilities, they give us a certain level of convenience. And it's important that when you reach at a point where you want to invest in a liability, make sure that you go in a route where it is at the minimum. Do not invest or do not spend your money into buying flashy cars that will continue taking a lot of money from your pocket. But it is good to check and analyze what kind of a car is suitable for your budget, and then settle for it. The rich continue also becoming richer because they always keep their cost of living at a lower than what they can afford. If you can afford to live in a house of 50,000, you can choose to live in a house that is costing you 30,000. Then you'll have 20,000 extra that you can use to expand a business, to invest, or even to save it for your retirement. The third thing that can differentiate you and push you to become 1% in the society is getting obsessed with the idea of getting rich. Getting rich is not something that you wake up and find yourself rich unless you come from a wealthy background and you have been handed over generational wealth. But if you have no generational wealth, this is not something that you wake up one day and you find yourself rich. Becoming rich comes from a burning passion and obsession of making it in life. No matter what, you have decided you must become rich. In the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, he puts this directly and says, desire is the starting point of all achievements, not a hope, not a wish, but a keen, pulsating desire which transcends everything. Once you have this obsession that you must be rich, and you start setting yourself in the path of becoming wealthy and do legal things that will bring more income in your pocket, then this burning sensation or the burning desire will push you to becoming better every day. When you have a strong desire for financial success, you start watching videos that talk about financial development. You start reading books that are teaching you on how to manage your finances better. You pay for financial advice because you have reached to a point where no matter what, I must make the right financial decision. So this obsession of becoming rich will make you improve your finances and achieve more goals. The best way to achieve your financial goals is to set a specific goal, write it down, either in a book or in an online notebook or even a sticky note, and stick it in your room where you can be able to see it every day. Research has shown that people who jot down their goals are likely to achieve their goals as compared to people who just put them in the back of their minds and they say they are going to achieve a certain goal and they don't write it down. Because when you write it down and put it somewhere where you can read it every day, it will keep you on track. Every time you wake up, you'll have a goal. You have that desire, you have that motivation, you have that sense of direction towards a specific goal. The fourth thing is plan well and act fast. Failing to plan is planning to fail. And that is a saying that we have been told from back when we were in school, and it is still applicable in our daily life. So if you do not plan for your life, you do not plan for your finances, then you have simply said, let the finances fail. When you plan for finances, it's like you're telling your money where it should go. But when you do not plan for it, then it means money is controlling you. And when you look at your bank balance, you are always freaking out because it's mid-month and you have already used 90% of your income and you're wondering how you're going to survive in the next 15 days before your next paycheck. If you want to break from this cycle of getting paid, paying bills, and repeating the cycle, the first goal is to make sure that your expenses, your daily expenses or your must-have expenses do not exceed 50% of your income. Look into it, cut down areas that you need to cut down to achieve this goal. That is your first step. The next step is now to figure out which is the best side hustle that I can do while I am employed so that I can earn more income. And the best side hustle to begin with is a side hustle that is supported by the internet. You could decide to become a freelancer. Look at the skills that you can offer and go to the freelancing market and see how much freelancers are making in that skill, how they are doing it, and then start looking for clients in that area. And the good thing about a side hustle that is supported by the internet is that you can do it from anywhere. You can do it while at work, you can do it while you're at home, you can do it while you're on vacation. And once you identify that, then start looking for a client. Once you get a client, do not increase your lifestyle, but instead invest now in something else that will bring income. And this is what the rich people do, because when you want to grow rich, you have to spend money to become rich. So when you're in this cycle of paying bills and living paycheck to paycheck, you have no money, extra money that you can invest and get money. Because even when you say you want to start a business, you need to have capital to start with. If you want to work online, you need to have skill. If you do not have this specific skill that you're passionate about, you need to pay for a course so that you can gain this skill and then now start applying for those jobs. But when you are always spending 100% of your income, then you will not leave money to invest in other areas. Hence, you'll be caught up in that cycle of paycheck to paycheck. And if anything happens to your job, then you go back to zero. The best place to start is take one goal that you want to achieve, make it very specific. Don't say, I want to earn more income this year. That is very general. You may not end up achieving that goal. Be specific. Say, I want to start this specific side hustle in the month of June, and write down what specific actions do you need to take to start that side hustle. Write them down. And once June comes, you have launched your side hustle, then write other goals on how to make that side hustle successful. Once you have specific goals and things that you can track, then you'll be able to make progress in your life. You can only expand what you can track. The fifth thing is the 1% always speak the language of possibility. Instead of saying, I can't afford this, ask yourself, how can I afford this? Then that means you have set your mind into thinking and knowing, what can I do in life so that I can afford this specific lifestyle? But when you say, I can't do this, you have blocked your mind. It cannot work. It just stops. And when you see things always, I can't do this, or you say, I can't win this client. When you start your business, you start saying, I can't win this client. This client cannot hire me. Then you have blocked your mind. But the 1% who are growing rich every day, they ask themselves, how can I make this client sign up for my services? And once you ask yourself important questions, right questions, then you'll be able to grow and become a better person in your business. Your words shape your mindset. Once you understand this, then you start speaking the language of possibility. You start speaking the language of positivity and start empowering yourself, because growth comes from within. Positivity comes from within, and then it grows outside of you. If you do not believe in yourself and you do not want to speak the language of possibility, it will be difficult for you to grow from one place to another. The sixth thing is leave luck at the door. I also used to believe in luck. I used to think that luck is what makes people wealth or rich. But while there is a small percentage of luck, the 99% is hard work and positioning yourself in the right place, networking, having a business that people are willing to pay for, or having a service that people are willing to pay for. And when you put your business or yourself and the service that you want to offer in front of people who are willing to pay for it, then they can consider hiring you for that service. Then maybe you can say, I was lucky that this client hired me. But when you look at it, it's because you put yourself at the front of those people who can pay for that service. You believed in yourself. You believed in the language of possibility, and you continue to knock doors and to inquire and present your services, telling clients what you can do for their business. And when you lock one client, then that becomes your first step towards greatness, because now you'll be able to convince others. You have a reference point now to say, I have worked with this client, we have been able to achieve ABCD, and I'm able to do this for your business. And then this client is also able to see, yes, you have actually achieved what you have said, and then it becomes easier for you to win more clients. The seventh thing that the 1% do is they build income that is able to run without them. The difference between the 1% and the 99% of the people is that the 99% of the people trade their time for money, while the 1% multiply their money with time, which this means that the more you employ people, or the more you hire skilled labor and get people to work in your business, then it means that that business can run without you being involved. But when you are employed, it means it's only you who needs to go to the office and work so that you can get paid. And when you live in that cycle, you understand that is the normal cycle that majority of the people are living at. The best way to go about this is to ask yourself, if something happened to my job right now and I lost that employment, how long would you survive without that job? And once you start asking yourself the right questions, then you start figuring out, what can I do to make sure that I have financial security? It's to start a side hustle, is to hire skills from other people and help your company grow. It is to build a team, which is a team that is an asset, so that it can work in your business or in your company without you being involved. That is one way. Another way is saving your money into accounts that have high interest returns. When you save your money into a money market fund, then the money continues growing even without your with your involvement. When you build passive income businesses like writing a book, you will spend time and money to write a book, but once that has been accomplished and published it, now that the people who buy your book, now that becomes passive income because you are not being directly involved in every book that you sell. Another way is to have digital products. You can have ebooks. Once you have spent time to generate a book, you have done your research, you have created a book that can help people, maybe can help a business owner to launch their first business, then now you sell that ebook, it becomes passive income. You're not directly involved in production of that book every time you sell it. But when you get stuck in employment and getting that paycheck, paying bills, and you go around like that, then it means it's only you who can be able to make that income. If you want to grow wealth, then it's high time that you start thinking about things that you can invest in that can bring you income. Review these 7 steps that will help you shift your mindset. Find the one that you can relate most with and start practicing it. Remember, it's always about the small habits that you begin. It's that mindset shift that you do it every day that will help you grow and become a better person and achieve your financial goals.